This resort on the beautiful island of Phuket has two distinct sides. One, a beautiful property surrounding a picturesque lagoon. The other, a literal garbage dump. All of that drama coming up. You see, this trip wasn't supposed to be this way. You could say I had high hopes, but they were very specific high hopes. High hopes in the way that when you book an expensive hotel in Tokyo, and the rooms look a little bit dated, from the past century even, but you know the condition will be pristine, and the service the best of the best. Originally, I booked this Banyan Tree location for a family holiday for December of 2020. That trip was cancelled, but I was thrilled to finally get back this past November. First up though, let's see where we are. Phuket, the large and beautiful island in the southwest of Thailand, is known for its beautiful beachfront properties, but today we're going to focus here, a bit inland. In 1984, a couple from Singapore began buying up land in this area, eventually mounting to this much. The Banyan Tree is located just inland here, surrounded by the Laguna Golf Club and various other resorts part of the same group, mainly Angsana and Cassia. The Laguna Resort Group, which controls a significant chunk of land on the island, opened its flagship resort, the Banyan Tree, in 1995. I personally don't follow golf and had no idea that I'd be staying there while they were hosting the Laguna Championships, but that wasn't a problem besides the giant signs that were everywhere. The entrance features a long driveway leading to a circle surrounded on three sides by the golf reception, the pool and spa reception, and on the left, the hotel reception. The resort's namesake Banyan Tree smack in the middle, surrounded by lotus ponds and, very ironically, a time capsule. Ironic because you will soon see, the entire resort in and of itself is a time capsule, waiting to be opened, aired out, and glued back together. Design-wise, and in line with my expectations, the reception area had an older design but was well maintained and had a homey feel when entering. Soon after that, took a turn for the worse. Check-in was an absolute mess. I booked this stay with American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts, which among upgrades and early check-in, which is included if it's available, also included a $150 property credit. Not to be confused, this property credit was part of the rate guaranteed and paid for. Amex allows each resort in their program to choose their own amenity on offer. Expected to be around $100 in value, some offer spa treatments, some a food and beverage credit, some a fixed meal, and the most generous, a full property credit, and in this case, $150. Earlier that morning, I called the resort to ask what time I could check in. Not asking for an early check-in, just a realistic time of what time I should arrive. I was told 1 p.m., and I arrived a few minutes after that. While checking in, I was told that I'd been upgraded 2 categories to a signature pool villa and had a $150 credit which I could use towards dinner at their Saffron Restaurant. After going back and forth a bit, the customer service manager who was checking me in tried to explain that the quote-unquote property credit meant a credit to be determined by the property. And then another 10 minutes of back and forth, they finally agreed to honor the credit as it should have been, for any expenses except those for third parties. Fair enough. I was told my room would be ready in 10 minutes. Okay. Over the next 25 minutes sitting there, I started to notice some things. For example, the beautiful Dupioni silk uniforms that the reception staff were wearing were literally falling apart. Some edges were frayed, some actually had holes in the back of the uniforms. A few moments later, a young local woman arrived holding multiple uniforms balled up in her arms. She walked up to the reception desk and was directed to sit across from me. My best guess is that she was a former staff here, coming back to return her uniforms. The fact that this was being done in the main reception area was just strange. After those 25 minutes, I asked about my room. 5 minutes more. Okay. While waiting on the villa, let's take a look at the primary pool area. Keep in mind that all 220 rooms here are actually pool villas, so there's never really anyone at this admittedly beautiful melange of pools. You've already caught on, haven't you? This is not going to be a great review. I have over 40 previous reviews published on YouTube, and I'm confident that my prior videos will speak for themselves in showing that I don't make videos for dramatic effect, or approach any property with malicious bias. That said, let's take a look at my first villa. I was only here for about an hour, so please excuse the quick filming. Upon entering, the overwhelming feeling was, everything just felt so tired. After a closer look though, this place was dirty, unsafe for kids, and absolutely falling apart. First off, the dust. Everything above eye level had a layer of dust on it, or in it. The lampshades had more dust the higher that you went, especially in all of the seams. You're thinking, that's not that bad? Well, then there's the rust. Essentially, every iron or metallic surface in the room was rusted out. The sliding doors could not be moved on the track without particles falling, and even if you could shut the door, you couldn't lock it because the locks were rotted through. And then there's the mold, and stains in general in a few places throughout the villa, inside and out. And the most comical of all, the absolute disrepair and super cheap attempt at fixing it. These doors, because of the rusted metal and rotted wood, would not close, so they added plastic door sweeps, which were popping off to keep the bugs out, I guess. The photos show it a bit more clearly. Then there was the water pressure and lack of hot water, which was fixed after calling. And then the obnoxiously loud AC unit. Also fixed after calling. Put all of these pieces together with a $345 price tag, and I called the front desk asking for a supervisor or a manager or someone to come to my room. A few minutes later, one came. I pointed out some of the things that were shown and was told that this was their quote-unquote classic room, but they also had a quote-unquote modern room which they could give me instead. By the way, I didn't mention why I was calling for a supervisor, but she came to the room with a new key already in hand. The new room was somehow a category below this one, but still above the category that I booked. That room, 656, admittedly was much nicer. But as the assistant manager drove me to the new room, quite a ways away, I realized the problems at this resort were not just contained in Villa 202. Let's go on a little tour. The resort is truly a construction site. Clearly they know they need a remodel just as much as I do, but the way in which it's done is sloppy and without a care for guests who are staying in the area. A large sprawling property like this one, to me it would make sense to work section by section, but no, it felt almost purposely random. The construction staff also slept in some of the villas that were under remodel. I have no problem with that, but they were loud and spent their evenings talking loudly and playing music on the outdoor salas. Remember that garbage dump that I was talking about? Well, here's part of it. Right now, we're directly across from the wedding pavilion on the north side of the lagoon. I'm showing you the resort sign here just so that you can understand I'm not lurking around anywhere. This is the way I was driven to my villa, and truly the only way to walk to the beach from this side of the resort. It's literally a massive pile of construction and landscaping garbage. I've never seen something like this on this scale at any resort or hotel before. For a quick bit of context, here's the resort. My first villa was here, my second villa here. These red dots are the places where construction materials were scattered about. Here's the garbage dump, and now we're heading to the pinnacle of deception, Sands Beach Bar. I'm paraphrasing because it's since been removed from their website, but at the time it advertised Sands as a breezy beach bar where you could enjoy views of the sunset from high above. Yeah, okay. Let's remember, this is a beach bar at the original flagship Banyan Tree property. That brings us to the beach itself, which you must exit the resort and cross a small road to access. That's not a problem. On the resort map though, it says it's 10 meters. You can be the judge of that. The beach, however, was nice with plenty of room to spread out. Note though that Banyan Tree does not have any presence on the beach. If you'd like some loungers, you need to be a customer at one of the nearby restaurants or perhaps just pay a flat fee. Now, let's take a look at that new room. This is a Serenity pool villa, added to the property in 2019. I know it was in 2019 because if you check any of the poor reviews of Banyan Tree on any website, anytime someone complains about the condition of the room, the management replies with, quoting here, "Our villas are more classic in design than some of the more modern accommodations that have been built more recently." On the other note, I'm thrilled to let you know that we have brand new Serenity pool villas which opened in 2019, and it has a different design comparing to your villa type. Perhaps you can make another visit to enjoy this." Unquote. And for all of those other reviews that praise the resort endlessly, assuming they're all genuine reviews, honestly, I don't know what to say. Yes, my visit was just a moment in time, but clearly these issues did not appear overnight. The Serenity pool villa was smaller, but well outfitted. If these were the only kinds of villas in a resort with beautiful grounds, I'd have nothing to complain about. They had many of the modern conveniences that the older rooms lacked, and were at least not completely falling apart. The next morning, when I was just about to step into the shower, I heard a knock on the door. I didn't worry, I just assumed they didn't notice the do not disturb sign, but they would. Nope. Opened the door. I screamed. They said minibar. I screamed again, and the door closed. Didn't really need any coffee after that. The outdoor area is compact but nice enough, and at least there are plants that are actually green and the walls not covered in mold. I also enjoyed that there was a separate hot tub, not so common in private pool villas. I realized later that there was also a nice screen door tucked away by the side. By the way, if you need a map, you'll have to request a paper one brought to your room. Otherwise, you're supposed to refer to the map on the not-so-high-definition TV. For how much better this room was, though, it wasn't without fault. Some mechanisms were already breaking. They attached the wall sconces before removing the plastic, so it's still covered in plastic on the back. The curtains in the bathroom are already covered in mold, and their fancy-schmancy electric toilet was not up to the job. Wanting to be as safe as physically possible for dinner, I ordered all Thai food from room service. The flavors were muted, but okay. But the glasses they sent were sticky and covered in who knows what. And the napkin? I swear it was older than I am. So, the next morning, it's a new day. There will be almost no complaining today, until checkout that is. Let me take you on a quick tour of what seems like a land far, far away. Over this bridge, we find ourselves in the enchanting world of the Banyan Tree double pool villas. These villas have their own separate listing on most hotel booking sites, though they share the same common areas with the rest of us. As I'm writing this, I'm checking to see the prices on a random day in April. On that day, the normal villas start at $284, and these newer double pool villas start at $590 and go up to $1,700 per night. The area is, however, much nicer. It's serene, beautifully and naturally landscaped. The regular area, especially around the Serenity pool villas, was cleared of all of the trees and then some replanted after construction. Here, there was an actual effort into preserving the original trees, which makes it feel so much nicer. Okay, back to reality. So, I knew breakfast was somewhere around reception area, but I genuinely didn't know where. At 6:30, there were no staff here. Literally, I mean none in reception. I politely called back to the back room, nothing. I went to the front driver and found a security guard who showed me the way. Since they were hosting the golf competition, I assumed the signs pointing this way for staff and official dining meant it was only for them. Oh well. Anyway, the restaurant, the Watercourt, was dated but well maintained. The spread of food was standard and acceptable, but nothing special, and kind of below what I was expecting. I ordered an omelet. 10 minutes later, I went back to see if he forgot. Nope, it was sitting behind the counter under a heat lamp. There were like 5 servers working and only 2 tables, including me. Outside, we have the lagoon, which is genuinely a beautiful and unique feature to a resort such as this one. The last time I saw such a nice lagoon at a beach resort was probably at Zanye Bai San Ho in Vietnam. Alright, let me show you the rest of the dining venues. First, this is Saffron. In their words, a place to, quote, experience a culinary journey through exotic Thai flavors in a contemporary, yet classically elegant banyan tree setting. Saffron is only open for dinner and it does have a dress code, keep in mind. Next up is the lobby bar. I do realize that it's early morning, but it is kinda hidden in plain sight. And finally, you may not have noticed that we walked through it already. We have what was then known as Thai Hay. Now on their website, it's being referred to as Veya. Open for lunch and dinner, also with a dress code, serving what seems to be fusion vegetarian food. Quote, a place that brings together all who desire to eat well to enjoy conscious and plant-based cuisine. Its dishes weave Asian and Mediterranean culinary influence with ingredients that respect the land. In front of the Watercourt, there are facilities where you can take kayaks and paddleboards out into the lagoon if you'd like. And also back behind the pools, there's a well-equipped fitness center. That brings us to what is normally the end of the tour. But we still have checkout to talk about. While I was at the hotel, I had some laundry done. I tallied everything up before handing it over and gave them an itemized list. Including tax and service, I totaled it at just under 1,700 baht, or $51. At checkout, they tried to charge me more than double that at 3,900 baht, or $118. I asked to see the breakdown of the cost. They were supposedly looking for this in the back room. They came back out 5 minutes later to again try and explain how it was correct, and overall I owed them a net 800 baht. I simply asked again to see the bill. They never produced the original slip. Eventually, after 10 minutes, the same customer service manager who checked me in came out from the back, snatched the bill, and took 2,000 baht off. This was still an overcharge, but now at least it was under the $150 credit, so it didn't matter at this point. And that brings us to the flip-flop score. The room design. I'm going off of the layout and the concept in general. It gets a 7. For room condition, that first room completely negates the second. No points. Service. Absolutely horrible, and the scary part is, it's not necessarily because of a lack of leadership presence. I feel like the majority of the people that I dealt with were actually managers, but never the GM. There is clearly a much deeper problem here. No points here. For the common areas, I'm talking about the pools, the fitness center, reception, I give it a 9. The grounds, on the other hand, no points for the amount of garbage in plain sight. For cleanliness, I'm taking everything into account, but it's hard to excuse mold in the rooms at a 4. The F&B venues are fine, but uninspired and just feel like the same collection of furniture in different rooms. I'll assume that the beach bar is gone already, so a 6. Food quality was fine at a 7. Amenities, talking about drinks and products in the room, water sports available, etc., at a 9. And finally, the beach, which is nice, but a bit far removed, at a 7. Overall, a gut-wrenching 49 out of 100. I stayed at a total of 15 hotels and resorts on this trip. This was the third most expensive and by far the most disappointing. Spend your hard-earned money elsewhere and avoid this place completely, at least until the full remodel is complete, whenever that'll be. All of that said, I do hope that you found the review useful and fair. Thanks for clicking that like button, even if you didn't like the hotel, and subscribing. It really helps out the channel. See you soon again for 2 more flight or hotel reviews every week.